It feels like this version of Sweet Charity was written by a woman.
Hi, my name is Marisa Moreno. I'm a theater major with a musical theater emphasis, and I'm playing Charity.
Hi, I'm Franca. I am a third-year theater major, also musical theater emphasis. I'm playing Carmen, and I'm understudying Charity.
So the show is set in New York. The original production is set in the 60s, which was when it was made, when it was conceived, but we are setting it in the 80s. The interesting part about this show is that it's going into the everyday of a sex worker, and the main setting of the show is in the locker room as opposed to on stage out there with the guests. You never actually see the guests in the show, which is a very interesting thing because you get to see really how these women feel about what they do. And it's all the things like our wonderful director, Claire Edmonds, always talks about not giving necessarily the patrons or the audience what they want.
It has a bit of a reputation, the play, for being sexist and for being about like a victim cycle and for being objectifying to women. And in a weird way, I feel like in my career as a director who's a woman, I have kind of become a professional at taking material that people consider misogynist and making it about misogyny, if that makes sense. And when I looked at Sweet Charity, it's like, this is a musical that so many people love. It's amazing. The music is amazing. The dancing is amazing. The story is so fun. The milieu of the environment is so fun. And yet, we aren't like questioning that material. We aren't interrogating that material, and it just felt like a perfect opportunity to go, can I set up this sort of perfect challenge for myself to make this about the women, to bring them into the fore of the play and give them more agency and more perspective on the whole story.
It feels like this version of Sweet Charity was written by a woman.
Yes,
you know?
which is interesting because the original the lyrics are written by Dorothy Fields, a woman, but it's all through the framework of men who did the choreography, who wrote the score, you know, who framed it the way that they thought the general audience wanted to see it, but that isn't necessarily true. And so I think that's really a beautiful thing that we did with this show here and now.
Yeah. It's really frustrating sometimes being in musical theater, being a woman, and just like, you know, seeing the representation that just does not feel correct. A lot of art, it feels really wildly incorrect, and it's frustrating, and it just felt like this is a project to reclaim that and not like just go into those stereotypes of just like the damsel in distress or like the ingenue, because I personally have never felt like I fit into any of those like typed roles, and it's just like, oh no, get a mullet, like do that, shave the sides of your head, like that's awesome. And it's felt very liberating to just like be who I am with the piercings and tattoos and whatever, and then also still be viewed as like a feminine person, you know, which personally has been really, really awesome.
I think we all relate to Charity. I think a good deal of the audience will also relate to Oscar. Everyone understands what it's like to fall in love with someone who you're not right for. And I think that's exactly what happens in this play. Two people who are not right for each other fall in love. I think they do fall in love, but you know it's not going to work out pretty much from the get.